Hello everyone and welcome to Yug Reviews, the series where I, Yug, go in depth about all the positives and negatives of something before ranking it somewhere between 1 and 10. I'm sure you fucking experienced the review before, so I'm gonna end my explanation of that there. But the one thing different about my review style, however, is that I'm fucking down to review anything, like whether it be a game, movie, book, type of cereal, stick of deodorant, piece of shit, etc. These suggestions for other things that you might want me to review in the comment section below. And without further ado, let's get into the fucking review. Among Us is an amazing game that's been taking the world by storm the past couple of months. A game that brings together people around the world just to answer the simple question of who is the imposter. A game that is built on the foundation of suspicion and deductive reasoning in a way that is both refreshing and exciting. A game that is neither competitive nor casual. A game that isn't popular because of good graphics, oh fuck no, the graphics are shit, or because it's part of a pre-established series, but simply because of the experiences one gets from playing. A game that is replayable to the point of being fucking downright addicting, while at the same time being fresh to some extent every time you play. In this video I'll be reviewing several aspects about Among Us and talking about what the game does well and what it could use improvement on. As you can already tell, I very much so enjoy the game, but I'm going to try to be as fair as possible with my critiques and not let the bias soak into my review much more. Right off the bat, I want to say that the biggest problem in Among Us stems from its small development team. There are only 3 people who made it, and of the 3, only 1 knows anything about coding. Yeah, pretty fucking shit. Leaving the sorry guy to do most of everything, while the ever-growing interest in the game increases the shit that he has to do. He's running around like a fucking crewmate doing tasks on the goddamn game. One of the biggest issues with the game is the servers going down and fucking disconnecting from games. Unfortunately, my man Fort, whatever the fuck his name is supposed to be, he's been working on these issues, and in the past few weeks we've not only seen fucking 6-letter codes being added into the game to accommodate the fucking huge spike in concurrent players, but also the glitch in servers being unjoinable after a single game is played being fixed. Nonetheless, it's still a major problem with the game, but with the consistent updates and fixes, I remain optimistic on this front. Next, what we're going to get into is the gameplay of Among Us. The gameplay itself of Among Us is nothing incredibly mind-blowing or special in any capacity. There are crewmates and imposters. The goal of the imposter is to eliminate enough crewmates that they're equal to the number of imposters, or sabotage something that the crewmates can't fix in time. These scenarios give the imposters a win. The crewmates have the goal of either finishing all their tasks or voting the imposters out of the game. Both of these scenarios give the crewmates a win. Crewmates walk around doing various tasks that in and of themselves are self-explanatory. Fix wires that are clearly color-coded, play Simon Says on the reactor, go stand on the medbay scan, shoot the asteroids, or empty the garbage. There are some tasks that are harder to figure out on the first playthrough or two, but over time you'll easily understand how to do all the tasks on any given map. Some of these tasks are visual tasks that other players can see, giving proof that a crewmate is innocent. The other big aspect of this game happens whenever someone either discovers a body or presses the emergency meeting button. It starts a discussion in which all the players are able to vote for who they believe the imposter is. Vital information, such as where the body was found or who was seen doing suspicious activity, is usually shared. Someone can either be voted out or the vote can be skipped if the majority of players vote for it. If a vote ends in a tie, the vote will be skipped as well, so it's really an all or nothing kind of ordeal. Either you choose who's going to be voted out or the game gets stalled, giving the imposters more time to kill the remaining crewmates. On the imposter side of things, you're able to kill crewmates all at the press of a button, leaving their fucking brutalized corpse just laying wherever you left it. Imposters also have the ability to sabotage various things such as the oxygen systems, the communication devices, the lights, even the fucking nuclear reactor. When an imposter is sabotaged, emergency meetings are unable to be called by the button, and the only way to start a vote is by discovering a body. Some of these sabotages are mere inconveniences, like communications not allowing you to view your tasks on the camera system, while others like Oxygen and Reactor will end the game if the crewmates aren't able to fix them before the time runs out. Also in this game, even players that have died still get a role. Like whenever a player dies, whether it being by voted out or just getting killed by the imposters, they become a ghost. Crewmates that have become ghosts are still able to complete tasks, and imposters that have become ghosts are still able to sabotage. Crewmates cannot win the game by tasks unless the ghosts or ghost crewmates also complete them, however. And now that I've got through the basics of what the game is and the mechanics that everybody has to go through, I'm now moving on to the section where I give a few criticisms and say a few things that could be improved upon. First things first, there's several issues with joining into lobbies. One thing that I find pretty pointless is the fact that you're given the option to join lobbies that have already started, even though it'll just tell you that you can't join them. Like if a game is in progress, it should be fucking removed from the find game section so that you don't have to waste time attempting to join games that you're unable to. Another issue altogether is the fact that when you're starting up games, it takes fucking forever for people to join a lot of the time, to the point where like I went in and I fucking timed it how long it took a single person to join. Like here, take a look at this shit, dude. Dude, holy shit, that took a long time. Fuck. Yeah, this would also probably be mitigated with my solution for the other issue in the game, which is to fucking literally just make it so that as soon as a game has begun, it is removed from the list of finding games. You should not be able to see that shit there if the game has already started and there's no possibility of you to join the game. That would funnel the people into the games that are actually joinable, and it would cause people to actually join your games much faster. And one of the other complaints I have with the game is that I feel that the ghosts are a pretty fucking poorly utilized game mechanic. Like when players die, I very frequently see them just sitting in the main room, like going AFK the second they've been killed by the imposter. A lot of times if you're playing in a public lobby with randoms, they won't fucking do tasks at all after their death. Or in some cases, players don't even realize that you can do tasks after you die. And yeah, there should be a system in which it automatically kicks you if you've died and you haven't done a task within a certain amount of time. This amount of time could be adjusted in the pregame lobby by the host to fit whatever style of game they wanted as well, if they were to implement it this way. And this would prevent AFK players and fucking jackasses that just want to ruin the game from completely shutting out the chance of the crewmates winning a game. Another issue I have is that I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, is that on some rare occasions, a crewmate can report a body or hit the emergency meeting button after already being killed. This can be incredibly fucking annoying for the imposter player, especially if the crewmate in question was near them the entire game. Although this can be pretty fucking funny when it happens, I'd argue that it gives the crewmates an unfair advantage. For this issue, I suggest to either remove it in its entirety, or if it is indeed a bug, or to make it optional, if the developers intended for it to be this way. Also, having it available within the settings to be toggled on or off. And I haven't managed to get lucky enough to get gameplay of this happening, but you just gotta fucking take my word for it. It's possible that this could even be fixed by now as I'm making this video, but it's very rare that this happens, so we'll see on that front. Another complaint I have is the issue with people leaving as soon as the game begins. Many times at the beginning of a match, whenever someone sees that they're not the imposter, they will immediately leave the fucking game and join a new one. Like, this causes a lot of matches to suffer as there's less crewmates, On many occasions, it is as much as 2 or 3 crewmates leaving at the start of the match, sometimes even more. Like, this can allow for the game to be extremely unbalanced in favor of the imposters, with them only needing a kill or two to win the game at the very start. My solution for this issue will be to punish players that leave the game while they're still alive, making them wait a certain amount of time before they're allowed to join another game. Maybe like 5 minutes or so. Like, this would incentivize staying in matches and would in turn cause there to be less games that seem like they end as soon as they begin. Also, another issue that I have that seems to go hand in hand with games ending as soon as they begin is fucking games that have 3 imposters within them. 3 imposter games seem to not even be viable to play whatsoever, and they can end in under a minute if the imposters are halfway decent. This, coupled with the fact that people like to leave the match as soon as they don't get imposter, causes for games to last seconds and completely sap the fucking fun out of the game for not only the crewmates but the imposters as well. I have an example of one of these 3 imposter games that I'd like to show as well. Fucking cue the timer. The last big issue I've become aware of recently is how over time the game gets extremely repetitive, especially when playing on the same map multiple times. Among Us suffers from a severe lack of content. In this day and age, games like Fortnite dominate the landscape, games that have content added frequently in updates so that the game is never able to get stale because there's something new every time you play. With a game like Among Us that is very simplistic at its core, this is a fucking especially large issue. There's such a small amount of different gameplay features that even more so than other games, you'll get bored relatively easily. My solution to this issue would be to add in some type of progression or challenge system that rewards you for doing things in game. The rewards don't even need to be something crazy, like it could literally be something like getting a new hat or a new skin or a new pet for doing challenges that will last you a while even. Another solution that I have to this issue would probably be more difficult to implement, but would be to possibly add in random scripted events to like spice up gameplay. Like, imagine how cool it would be if you're on the Skeld map and then randomly some game, instead of being able to shoot the asteroids, the task just fucking fails and an asteroid hits the ship, and then like the crewmates have to patch the hole created in the ship. Things like this could be just the thing needed to be added into the game to bring back those who got bored with repetitive gameplay, because even then things will be spiced up a little, things will be changed, so it's just not the same fucking game every time. Also, the last thing that I wanted to really talk about here is that this game is fucking impossible to play if you're not playing it with a group of people that you already know. Playing it with randoms online can be especially fucking annoying. Like, a lot of times, like, they'll all be in a Discord call together, and then they'll just vote you out just because you're not fucking a part of their team, or people will just be fucking cheating, or you get people that are literally just looking at their sibling's phone screen or some shit, and immediately as soon as somebody dies, you get voted out just because of that. Yeah, like, sure, like, this can happen in friend groups as well if you have fucking retarded friends, but this is a ridiculous issue online. It gets to the point where you can't really play with anyone. The only really way to play this game and have fun is if you're playing it with a group of your friends that you're already comfortable playing with, because the community online is just pretty toxic. I don't really think there's anything that the Among Us team could do to viably fix this issue either, because fucking there's nothing you could do about the people that play your game. That's just an issue with the players themselves. And after this, I'm gonna pretty much move into my verdict section. And quickly, before we wrap things up, I wanted to give my personal opinion on Among Us 2 being cancelled in favor for adding content to Among Us 1. This could either end up working really well or really poorly, like nothing else in between. Because on one hand, you ensure that you don't lose the player base of Among Us 1, but also since the code that they're using to program the game is 2 years old and outdated, it's much easier to break the game and introduce more bugs and issues into the game. If the game doesn't end up suffering and experiencing such bugs, then this is definitely the right move. But bugs are always unexpected anyways, and we won't really know more until more content gets added into the game. But yeah, all in all, I believe that this game is pretty good, and it was a good escape from the many shitty things in this utterly dreadful year. Although it may have its shortcomings, I believe that it's somewhat expected from such a small development team, and that they have done more than enough thus far to show that they are committed to continue ironing out bugs and adding additional content. In a few months, a new map will be released, and it's been confirmed to be adding more new features that will likely keep the game fresh. I'm optimistic for the future of this game, even if I may be a bit burnt out of it myself. But for my verdict, I'd say that I have to give the game in its current state a 7 out of 10. Well, and you could also say that it will be an 8 out of 10 if you're always playing with your own friends and not playing with the fucking randoms online. The randoms that you'll play with most of the time will just drag your experience down and make you fucking hate human beings because of how fucking brain dead they can be. This game is a fresh breath of air from the other games that we've all been used to seeing year after year, and it's possible that in the future, as this game gets more polished and more content gets added, it can rise up to even possibly a 8.5 or 9 out of 10. It's really a pretty fucking good game. And this wraps things up on the very first Yug review. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that fucking like button, because what's the fucking point of the button if you don't click on it when you like something? And also subscribe if you want more content similar to this. If there's anything else you'd like to see me review, leave it in the comment section below, and maybe I'll cover it sometime. And until next time, see ya, you sexy motherfuckers.